Hey Gunfigures fam, I'm Clara and I'm today with Tal, aka Waze, in Antwerp for the Rampage Total Takeover. In this interview we will talk about your career, about the projects to come and also about, of course, the gig you had yesterday at the Rampage event. Let's talk with Waze. First, how are you doing today?
Doing great. Had some sleep, feeling good. Excited for the big Rampage tonight. But had a blast yesterday. It was a great time. A lot of energy. First time playing in Belgium. First time playing for Rampage, and it was truly like mosh pits all night. A lot of energy, and seeing dubstep like that, it's beautiful. To me, it's beautiful. It's still never like. I never really kind of processed the fact that it's so big, because it used to be like not as big, and when it was a little bigger I was not a part of the scene because I was younger. So now being a part of it, I just feel grateful and thankful and excited for what's about to come for dubstep and all of us.
We are too. We are too. You're an artist based in Israel. If I had to describe your music in one word, it would be really difficult because you cover a huge spectrum of bass music, from heavy to melodic dubstep to trap, even drum and bass. So I was thinking about like asking you, how did you fall in love with bass music?
I think that I was always a big fan of like music in general, and my dad was a huge like music guy, so he would play all kinds of music. And back then, around like 2004, 2005, when I was like growing up, like a kid, there was a big shift in music, and everything started to become more and more electronic. And in that area, I was still shaping my identity and my music identity as well. So, kind of having that influence really got EDM into me. And especially when I got a little older, and I was like around 7 years old, it really popped. Like the pop sound became very electronic, and everyone were using more electronic drums, more electronic synths, and I guess it just inclined into my brain that I got so used to it. So I feel like that's why I've always been around like electronic sounds, and it was very natural to me to be around it. Some people that are older than me, they were born when it was still not really existent. But for me, I kind of were growing into it, and that's why when I did start to make music and I started to try to play the instruments and all that stuff, the most natural thing for me was at least making electronic music. And I started with trance because it was very big in my country. It's still very big in my country. All the biggest artists in the world for trance, psytrance, are Israeli, like Infected Mushroom, Vinny Vici, Blastoise,
Okay.
so many more to come. Everybody's
Yeah.
Israeli. When I see them, like the only artists I see at the airport in Israel, it's them, because
Yeah.
it's they're the only ones that are like touring like that.
Yeah, and
I mean-
Sex Ways, was it a
No.
psytrance
So like
project,
I
or?
was making psytrance. It's just like before project.
Uh-huh.
But definitely like I started to make music when I was 8 years old in 2008, and I started with like psytrance.
Okay.
like,
So
trance.
it wasn't,
And then like it shifted into like dance and EDM and like Dutch electro, you could
Okay.
say, dirty Dutch used to call it.
Mm-hmm.
And then around 2009, 2010, I was exposed to dubstep, and especially when UKF had like the Thursdays or Wednesdays, I think, that they would post, and I would sit there and wait, and that's how I kind of discovered dubstep, and I just fell in love with it immediately because I really liked rock and metal,
Mm-hmm.
and to me, to have that sound in electronic music was like, oh my god, I've been dreaming about this. And something about like the sound, the robotic sound, and the futuristic sound as a kid, I liked it. You know, it was sexy to me. So definitely that's how my genre shift became. But Sex Wolves really started when I really loved dubstep, but it was so hard to make back then because you did not have the synths you have now, the preset packs you have,
Yeah,
the
it
sample
evolved
packs
a
you
lot.
have. YouTube was just kind of like starting with the tutorials,
Yeah.
so it was very tough to make stuff like that. And I was always like, it's too hard. You can listen to it, but it's too hard to make.
Yeah.
And at some point, I was like, well, maybe if I start like a project for fun, and I just make myself a logo and like make it official, to like to the zero friends I've had, make it official. Maybe then I'll take it more seriously and then
Yeah.
learn how to make dubstep. and that happened. that really pushed me to like, you know, I started a project. I need to make dubstep. A couple months after that, I released my first dubstep like track remix, and from then I just kept going and learning and growing, and you know, like it was in 2013. It's actually next month. It's the 10 years of Sex Whales.
Wow.
Yeah, making something special for that.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But definitely that's how dubstep started. But I never really stopped making the other musics, like the house and the melodic stuff.
Yeah.
And it's still to this day. I make like everything, and I think dubstep is the thing that I really love and can focus on and really can vibe with the most. But the melodic music and the composition of it and vocals and writing vocals being a part of like real music and bringing that aspect to dubstep, it's a pleasure to me because it feels like kind of combining everything together that I like, and that's what I love doing.
Okay, nice. Which artist inspired you?
I think any artist can inspire me, like the biggest ones and the smallest ones. It's really about seeing somebody passionate and seeing somebody that's like pushing the limits of sound, and just seeing somebody doing something special really can inspire me to do something special myself. And I can tell you, like, anything can inspire me. Any human being, any artist, any like visual art and video art and illustration, and then of course music, but all kinds of music, like even just like movie composition and everything, right?
Yeah.
So that can really inspire me to just create. And there are many ways for me to like find inspiration. I think some people think that it's about motivation. It's about discipline and just finding the right like thing and just going with it.
Talking about art, I heard that you have a great collaboration with a French artist, graphic designer named Cosmo, right?
Yeah. The way it started is in the beginning of 2022, I was looking for somebody that can take my project to a different aspect visually, because it felt like I always had this whale character and it was popping here and there, but it was never consistent. And coming into today's modern society, a brand is everything, and music matters the most to me. But at the same time, if you want to grow something and make it like more serious and make it bigger and better and a better experience to people, you gotta just give them the full experience. So I got to the point that I really just wanted like a team or him now, because he can do it all. And I was looking for months and months and months, and I've had so many options and so many calls. And then one day, one of my friends, Edward from Ukraine, he's like a big like visual artist. He told me, you know, you should try this guy. And we had a call, and I immediately was like, that's my guy. Because he had the right mentality, he had the right experience, he had the right attitude to like, let's do it, let's create something big, let's learn together, grow together. And we did it, and now I'm like, at this point, it's very consistent. Everything looks very professional, very big. The brand has now identity. Whales now has like actual whales. And we did it also to separate the melodic and heavy. So like the heavy music, we have this like cyber whale, which called Aqua. And for the normal music, like the melodic music, we have Soul, which is a normal whale, just a t-shirt, not cyber elements to it. And that way, the people can also, it takes time to understand it, but if you're a fan, you kind of understand when I release something melodic, when I release something heavy, and having these two platforms kind of to just kind of express myself in a way that can also make sense visually and brand-wise. Because before that, it was a big mash. Nothing looks consistent, nothing like, the sound doesn't make sense. So I just really wanted to make it sense, and I needed something that can help, because, you know, there are many senses, right? And I can give an experience to two of them, because I can make people smell or taste. So I basically can make people look at something nice and hear something nice.
Yeah.
And
that's a total complete experience.
Yeah. So I was lacking the visual aspect, and it was a pleasure working with him and building an identity to this brand. Like it's as important to me as the music now, to make sure that everything is very consistent, very professional, and just giving the people the best experience. Like, why not? If I can do it and I have the people that are willing to be a part of this project and I'm willing to grow with them, why not just bring somebody that's as talented as Cosmo to take it to the next level? And that's what we did, and I'm very grateful, and I'm excited to the future, because it's only getting better every time we do
Yeah,
something like
you're
that.
just a good guy,
Yeah.
I think. You have been active in the music industry for 10 years now.
Yeah. I mean, a little more than that, but as like a project.
Yeah, of course. And so, so you know for sure like the dubstep for years, and I'm really curious to know how do you see like the evolution of dubstep through the years, and how do you see like the future of this genre?
I think that like dubstep, it's always been such a, it's everything, and the way I see it is, it's getting very modernized in a way, and it's getting not industrial, but just a little more mainstream, I think. But on the same time, it's getting more underground. So there is these two worlds. You can kind of see that it's also very underground, but it's also getting bigger and bigger. So I can see dubstep definitely getting like to a newer heights with the stuff that, for example, Subtronics. He's pushing dubstep now to like a different, because Excision made it like huge, and now the younger people, which you know, nothing can top what Jeff did. I mean, it's Excision. But when more people like that come, and you have now Excision, and you have now Subtronics, and you have all these artists pushing the sound, and making curated events, and making their own festivals, and making their own labels,
Yeah.
is gonna grow, right?
Of course.
And all of them are doing such a great job, and I'm grateful. I'm truly grateful for everybody, for DPMO, Funkcase, for Subtronics. I'm grateful
so
for
much
Bear
job.
Grylls with Root Service. I'm thankful for, and I forgot like millions of them that I appreciate and love. And I'm grateful for them pushing the sound, and it's really important. You know, we would not have a scene without these big artists just taking the lead and just making
Of
it
course.
bigger. So.
Labels, also promoters.
Yep. Oh,
like events.
everybody, of course.
Yeah.
Promoters is a different conversation
Yeah, of
because I
course.
got mad love and respect for them. But basically, I can see dubstep just getting bigger, but also hopefully keeping the original sound and staying underground and staying sexy and unique. You know, that's our thing. We're weird, different people,
Yeah.
and that's our thing. We
I
all
get it.
are here because we have something else. Like, you know, we're a little different. So
Yeah.
I hope it stays like this. But I just hope it's not going to be a cult, but it's going to be a community,
Yeah.
and that the community is going to grow and grow and grow, and hopefully everybody will have a lot of fun, and I can make a lot of people happy and have fun.
Yeah, for me it's even like a bass music family kind of.
Yeah, oh for sure.
Like in
100%.
Europe we have this huge community, yeah, as you
Yeah,
said, and I think
yeah. All these festivals like Rampage and Lost Lands and basically like all these festivals always make me be like, wow,
yeah.
a lot. Like we're all the same. We have something in common, and that's incredible. That's incredible. Not everybody, not everybody can be a part of something like that, you know. And
I agree.
it's something that in like 50, 60 years you can sit with your grandparents, with your grandkids, and kind of tell them like I was a part of something amazing, you know. And it might be still going, but it might not. You know, life moves on. Who knows where stuff's gonna be like 70 years. We're gonna be flying around and like in Mars. Gonna be one day on Earth. I was at this big festival and I was at this interview on this thing called like a wheel, you know, and so
Yeah.
I think we're doing something great, and I'm very thankful for it. As you can see, I'm just happy to be a part of it, to be a part of something. So it makes a lot of people happy, and if I can be a little part of it, like a tiny part
And
of it,
we are really happy to have you in part
yeah.
of it.
Oh, and I'm super happy as well, but I'm just happy that I got the opportunity. Yeah.
I get it. Finally, what's next for Wales?
I think for me, it's always about growth and being a better artist. You know, be given a better experience. If it's music, if it's visual aspect, if it's playing bigger shows, better sets. Always bettering myself in every way, and just doing what I can for the community. You know, and if it's just making music, then that's it. If I can do stuff beyond that,
That's a
beyond
lot
that,
already.
yeah, but definitely a lot of cool projects. Got a couple of EPs and a couple of great labels.
Yeah.
And a couple of big festivals this year, which I'm excited about. And
Nice.
nice.
Can you tell us a little?
I mean, like we talked about Excision. God bless his soul. You can, yeah,
Okay.
you can understand some out of that.
Wow, amazing. Amazing.
But definitely a lot of great collaborations with artists that I absolutely love, like Shaquille O'Neal, Adventure Club, Right 10
Nice.
next month.
Okay,
Maybe
cool.
this is gonna be out by then, but if not, yeah, we have a track coming out, and a new collab with Excision that we're working on. Been working on for a while, but it's been cooking.
Nice.
And much of more stuff. Pure 97. Oh, we are making like an EP together, I think. So
Okay, cool.
that's gonna
So
be
much
great.
going on.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm always working.
Wow.
So,
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for this interview.
Thank you.
And
I'm glad to be here.
It was amazing to talk with you.
Bye bye. This is Wales, and you're watching Gunfingers. Make sure to subscribe, like, comment, and share this video to your headbanger friends. I'll see you next time. She'll see you next time.